boys and girls, it's Mrs. Smiley. I hope you're having a great day today. I wanted to share a story with you, and this story is called How Full Is Your Bucket? This is the back of the book. This is the front of the book. We call this the cover. The title is right here, How Full Is Your Bucket? That's the name of our story, and it's written for kids. There's an author and there's an illustrator. The author wrote the story, and it's written by Tom Rath and Mary Reckmeyer. And the illustrator did all of the pictures. And the pictures are by Mari J. Manning. Okay? Now I think you're going to really like this story. And sometimes I'll ask you during the year, I'll say, how is your bucket? Is your bucket full or is it empty? And that's kind of telling me how you're feeling. If you're feeling great and you're full of happiness, you've got a full bucket. But if your bucket's kind of empty, that means you're feeling kind of sad. So let's go ahead and enjoy this story and see if we can learn something. Here's our title page, How Full Is Your Bucket? Felix was putting one of the last blocks on his tower. I want to build with you, said his little sister when she came in. Felix scowled. Go away. You're too little. I'm big. Stay back or you'll knock it over. I can be very careful. Go play with your baby toys, Anna. Boy, it doesn't sound like he's being very nice. Now look at Anna. She drew that picture and look at her face. She's not feeling very happy, is she? Look what Anna did. She took her dolly and thwack, she knocked down his tower. Grandpa! Grandpa shook his head. Felix, you just dipped from your sister's bucket. Like everyone else, Anna has an invisible bucket. And when it's empty, she feels bad. But when it's full, she feels great. Didn't you ever notice your own bucket? Invisible bucket? Sometimes Felix couldn't quite tell when his grandfather was joking. When Felix came down to have breakfast, his mother was in a hurry. I've got a meeting this morning. It's almost time to go. Anna, sit still. Oh, and there's Felix trying to get cereal down from the cabinet. It looks like it's spilling. Uh-oh. Sorry, guys. Felix slipped and the cocoa wheat scattered all over the floor. Felix, yelled his mother, you should have used the stool to reach that. So she's saying he should have been more careful. Felix could feel his bucket tip and big invisible drops spill out. Drip, drip. Ha ha, Anna laughed as she crunched the cereal with her shoe. Drip. Get the broom and clean that up before you miss the bus, scowled Mom. With the school bus honking, Felix quickly swept up the cocoa wheats and grabbed the last blueberry muffin before he could even take one bite. I wonder what's going to happen. Look at his bucket. It's getting more and more empty. Buster jumped up and grabbed the muffin from his hand. Drip. He didn't even get to enjoy his muffin, so I guess he didn't have any breakfast this morning. Hey, look at Felix's new backpack. My baby brother has one just like it. Drip. The kids are making fun of him. That's not very nice. Psst, Felix. Psst. Oh, they're talking about him. Look, his bucket lost another drip. Watch out, Shrimp. Someone's calling him a name. More water is coming out of his bucket. They're not being very nice. So here he is in the crowded hallway. See if you can see Felix. There he is. And look at his face. He doesn't look very happy, does he? And look what happened to his bucket. It's not full. It hardly has any water left in it at all. It was still morning, and Felix's bucket felt almost empty. Look at him sitting in class. He looks just upset, doesn't he? So think about what zone he's on. He's probably maybe on the blue zone. He's not feeling too good. As he watched his classmates walk into the room, he secretly hoped that they would trip and fall. That's what it feels like when you have an empty bucket. Felix slumped into his seat, and he waited for something else bad to happen. Mrs. Blumnickel walked slowly up to his desk and handed him a paper. He could hardly bear to look. "Felix, you wrote a wonderful story. Would you please share it with the class?" Felix grinned and felt a big drop land in his bucket. See, she said something nice to him. He's getting his bucket filling back up. She put an A+. That's a really good grade to get at school. Drip, plop, plink, drop. The Giganosaurus Who Wanted a Pet by me, Felix. He got to read his story to the whole class. The class grew quiet. They laughed at all the right places, and they oohed at the scary parts. When Felix finally read the end, everyone clapped. Even Emily, who sat next to him and didn't usually like dinosaurs. Felix felt a whole shower of drops land in his bucket. Maybe the day wouldn't be so bad after all. Look at his bucket. It's filling back up. Drop. Oh, look, here he is having lunch with a friend. His bucket's getting filled back up. And then over here, this lady is saying team captains today are Veronica and Felix. He got picked to be a team captain. That made him feel special. Here he is in art class. And the art teacher said, "Nice cow." And he says, "It's a dog." And he said, "Well, nice colors, Felix." He's getting more compliments. "Cool laser ant backpack, Felix." So the other kids made fun of his backpack, but this little girl, she really liked it. I think his bucket's filling back up. By afternoon, Felix's bucket was nearly full. Can you see it up there? Look how full it is. He's feeling pretty good. At recess, when he looked around, Felix suddenly realized that his grandpa was right. Everyone else had a bucket too. You can see how everybody's feeling. Look at this boy. He's kind of got an empty bucket. He's having trouble playing baseball and catching the ball. And all these friends over here have pretty full buckets. Oh, look, somebody dropped their papers and he said, "Let me help you." And when he was doing something nice for somebody else, it filled his bucket up too. And he filled up the man, maybe the teacher, the principal, his bucket by helping him. And he says, "Here's your baseball, catch." And here's that little boy whose bucket was kind of empty. And he says, "Thanks, dude." So he was being a nice friend. That little boy needed a friend. And then he says, "Hi, I'm Felix. Is it your first day?" "Yeah, I'm Amir." Oh, look how empty his bucket is. He's probably scared, and maybe he doesn't have any friends at the new school. And here he is filling his bucket by offering to be his friend. The strange thing was that for every drop that he helped put into somebody else's bucket, he felt another drop in his own bucket. So every time he did something nice for somebody else, it made his bucket fill up too. Doing nice things makes you feel good, doesn't it? When Felix burst in the door after school, he shouted, "You were right, Grandpa. I do have a bucket, and I understand how it works." Then he saw Anna's torn doll. "Bad dog," he almost scolded. But then he thought, dogs, they might have invisible buckets too. "Your doll will be okay, Anna," said Felix. "Mom will fix her." Wow! You can see Anna crying, and look at her bucket is getting empty because the doggy chewed up her doll. "Until then, do you want to help me build the tallest building in the whole world with my blocks?" So now he's going to share with her. And here we go. And so they did. And look how full their buckets are. He's doing something nice for her, and she's just loving being with him. So think about you and pretend that you have an imaginary bucket on your head and ask yourself, how full is my bucket? And then look around at the people in your family who are in your house at home with you and think, how could I fill my mom's bucket? What could I do to make her feel good, to make her feel happy? How could I fill Daddy's bucket? What could I do to make my daddy feel special? Could I give him that hug? Could I help him with something? What about your little brothers or sisters or big brothers or sisters? What about their bucket? What could you do to help them fill their bucket? Maybe they need help. Maybe if it's a little brother or sister, you could play with them. Maybe if it's a big brother or sister, you could do something that you know that they would like. Get them a little snack or something. I don't know. But this is a wonderful story. And sometimes our buckets, they do spill. And sometimes things happen and it makes us feel sad. But we can't just be sad. We have to think, how can I fill my bucket? So a nice way to fill your bucket is by helping others. So I think this is a really special book because when your bucket is empty, you're probably on the blue zone. But when your bucket fills up, you get all the way up to the green zone, don't you? So I hope you enjoyed the story, boys and girls. It's called How Full is Your Bucket for kids. Have a great day.